Advocate Ngugi Buru, partner Ngugi Buru Advocates. Yes, a gentleman that has got that distinct honor of working towards a PhD. He's got his LLM already, a future senior counsel. Some say, okay, one day he's going to sit on that hot seat. But we know that he's going to do a tour of duty through the LSE, Cambridge, Oxford, then Harvard University. Maybe. Then just, just for Pete's sake and just as alumni, one day pass through Parklands. What happens at Parklands, please, brother?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's good. That's the University of Nairobi Law School.
Okay.
Indeed.
Okay.
So we are we are talking about our guest every Tuesday. It is Advocate Eliud Ngugi Esquire, my brother. Karibu sana sana. What are your handles before we get to it very quickly, Baba?
Wakili Ngugi on X, Wakili Ngugi on TikTok.
Yes.
Eliud Ngugi on LinkedIn.
Indeed. Yeah. There's so much happening this week, as you know.
A lot.
Yeah, so, we'll try and get through as much as we can. But, we do off the cuffs. Now, this off the cuff, a very quick one. Chicago Marathon. They say that Kenyan lady broke the marathon record. And pundits, we call them pundits, right? They say, first of all, she has broken athletics.
Chepngetich.
That I was forgetting the name. Ruth Chepngetich.
Yes.
I hope I said it right. As a marathoner, as a runner, okay, and you honestly, you take this seriously. Did you watch the race?
I did watch the race, yeah.
Okay. Now, and you also...
First of all, notice how you said, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like what else will have you been doing?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And you're as patriotic as the next Kenyan, and some say more so. Is there a part of you that believes she doped?
None. No iota of doubt.
Yes.
That she did this from the training and from just being a Kenyan.
Right.
Kenyans are known to have a DNA.
Yes.
They actually say that Kenyans are the ones who created marathons.
Exactly. I see Larry Madowo said, we invented running.
So there's no way I doubt that Chemgetich.
You haven't heard him saying that, have you?
No. Imagine before that, people were just jumping.
Yeah, but yes. Yeah. So you say, Wakili?
Yeah, so this is a genuine win.
Right.
And we need to actually, the government should have declared a public holiday after that, because this is the first woman to ever run under 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Exactly.
And she's Kenyan.
Right.
And the whole world was talking. Yesterday morning in the gym,
yes,
at around 6 a.m., BBC was streaming the race.
Yes.
So this is one person who is making us very proud.
Right.
Yeah. The athletes are making us very proud and should have declared a public holiday.
So we petition for this one that passed year that we didn't know what we were celebrating to be called Ruth Chepngetich Day, yes? This 10th one.
That holiday.
Utamaduni, sijui pandamiti, sijui whatever it is called.
That holiday has morphed into so many names. Let's just leave
but
Mazingira Day.
By the way, yeah, okay, but legally it's Mazingira Day, is it?
It's Mazingira Day, yeah. Okay,
now speaking of public holidays, there's, the 20th is coming up.
Yeah.
And then, we don't know. And they are going to be Kwale County, is it? Somewhere.
Yeah, Kwale.
It's Kwale.
Mashujaa.
Mashujaa.
Yes.
Who will be sitting? Who will introduce His Excellent, the President?
Of course, we know who.
Yes.
He's a friend of ours from the Western province.
Oh, yes, of course.
Prime Cabinet Secretary. Yes.
Why do we complicate things? All we need to do is ask Eliud.
In the absence of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, then we would have either the Speaker of the Senate or the Speaker of the National Assembly. Yeah.
Now, the courts, obviously now we are zeroing in on Rigiji. There's so many rulings that have happened today. But yesterday, speaking of Speaker of the Senate, he came out during this petition for the governor of Nandi, his impeachment process.
Yeah.
They didn't meet that threshold of 2/3. And then somebody was, the speaker said that, look, the courts cannot interfere in legal speak, but obviously he said it differently with what the rulings of the speakers of the Senate or the National Assembly. Is that true?
That's not the correct position, because previously we have precedents where the likes of former Governor Wambora, Sonko, where we had also the Mwangaza, current Meru governor. After they have gone through the impeachment process and the Senate has found them not fit to hold the office of governor, the said governors have gone to the courts.
Right.
And the court, the High Court of Kenya, is mandated to interpret the law.
Yes.
To interpret, and the law in Kenya, the supreme law of Kenya is the Constitution of Kenya.
That's true.
And you can therefore not say that that the courts have no say in the processes, because one, the courts have been given that right to interpret the law. Okay,
so arrest development right there then. Like I said, there's so many, it's fluid all over the place, right? Then that 3-judge bench that was constituted yesterday by the Chief Justice, they are going to rule at 2:30 today. They've ruled clearly it's after 2:30, right? And they've said they cannot interfere with what Parliament, and in this case the Senate, is doing. So what's the contradiction there, Papa?
There's no contradiction. I believe they are in their right to state that they cannot interfere. One, because the process is not complete.
Thank you. That's what I wanted you to bring up there.
Under the Article 149, or rather Article 145 of the Constitution that comes up with the whole process of impeachment, there is a provision on the different stages. First, you file a motion as a member of Parliament of the National Assembly. The motion has to be supported by a third, and then it is discussed. There is public participation, and upon that, then the motion is moved, and it needs 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly. And upon them finding it right to now send it to the actual court, in court, or rather the jury, and the jury in this case is the Senate. It refers, now that's why we saw the Speaker of the National Assembly writing to the Senate Speaker and referring this issue to the Senate, for the Senate to now either form a committee of 11 members or have a discussion on the floor.
Plenary.
And they opted to go with the plenary. And upon now what will be happening tomorrow taking place, then we shall, and I felt like the media reported this, the impeachment now will be formal. But what happened last week was just the process being referred to the Senate. So they had to do that to get here. They had to do that to get here. And only after the finalization of the Senate, after the deputy president appears before the Senate,
and they finish that process,
he finishes giving his side of the story, and the Senate now voting and having the 2/3 of the members of the Senate voting whether to retain him as the deputy president or to impeach him.
That's when the court process can start.
The process can start.
We got that, brother? Very good. Now, speaking of now that whole process, look, before you get to yours, then there's the issue of the IEBC, Esquire. Last week, and it started with the Senior Counsel Otiendo Molo saying, you know, hii maneno ya kufa dereva kufa makanga, you know, abiria ataumia. Okay? So, last week we left it at, there was a committee that was formed. I don't know, that was constituted in terms of IEBC matters. How far have you gone on that?
So it's still pending, but I believe what you want to ask me is, can we, after, let's say the motion goes through and we impeach the current deputy president, can we then follow Article 149 and say that the president is going to just appoint somebody who, or rather, nominate for National Assembly to approve.
Yes. How is thank you. How is the IEBC involved in all of those mandanos?
So, according to the Constitution, Article 149 does not foresee or does not give that outright requirement for IEBC to be involved in the process.
Yes.
But the constitutional lawyers will tell you that the process of appointing either a president or a deputy president is a constitutional matter, but also an electorate issue or process, an election process. And therefore, I take you back to 2017 on the day where we got the new government. And there was a swearing in of the president, of the deputy president.
Yes.
Upon the
Kasarani.
at Kasarani.
Yes.
And upon their swearing in, there were documents and there were documents handed over to them.
Yes.
But even before that, at Bomas of Kenya,
Yes.
after the election,
Yes.
there
Or
was
certificates.
There were certificates which were issued.
Yes. Yes.
Meaning that to ensure that we uphold the whole separation of powers,
Yes.
the Constitution does not foresee a situation where one individual can have so much power
Yes.
to wake up today and say, Quach,
Yes.
you're now the deputy president because the National Assembly has approved you. Are you fit for that office? Because this is an election issue. So which body finds you fit? Which body do you have to go quote unquote for interviews where you have to present your documentation to prove that you are eligible for that office?
By the way, there was that.
Okay.
So
There
when I
was
take you
that.
back to
Remember?
Bomas,
Yes.
when before we went into the election, when they were going
Candidates. Yes.
as candidates,
Yes.
they were presenting their nomination documents,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
these documents had to be approved, or rather,
Wow.
the documents.
Yes.
You have a degree.
Yes.
Is it legit?
Yes.
You have gotten these signatures from this
Yes.
number of places.
Yes.
24 counties
Yes.
and counting. And then they approve you.
Yes.
So there's no way then where there's a space or there's a vacuum in this office, then we can then say that we'll just keep that part. What if we get someone who has no degree appointed as a deputy president?
You know, I was watching our pundits last night. And in fact, one of them was somebody who was deeply involved in the constitution making process.
Prof.
Third Way Alliance. And that one.
Doctor.
Yes. You see the hash that he has put there, my friend. Bishwa. So now, a lot of things were envisioned to be done because apparently that same constitution, that you read it, you know it obviously, that this shall be done, this schedule shall. The word shall is used heavily in that document. True or false?
True.
So the 12th Parliament really slept, right? They did not do a lot of changes that were envisioned when that constitution came into play. Because now in a scenario like this, now honestly, because look, this now opens the mind, but maybe somebody can even use it to go to court, even them as the LSK.
Definitely.
So what happens then?
So what we expect to see is there will be petitions,
Yes.
which will be presented in court, in the High Court, for the interpretation of this particular provision under the Constitution.
Yes.
That Article 149.
Yes.
And they are going to make inference to the actual election process. Why does this section of the Elections Act require that when you're nominating your deputy, they need to have these qualifications or they need to meet this threshold? And now here we are, there's a vacuum. We need a declaration by the Constitutional Court to declare that this process, election process, has to happen. And then who is the right person to do this? Who is the right person to actually hand over this certificate? Or who ensures that we get the right candidate? before
then-
we present this candidate before the National Assembly for approval.
Because obviously speculation is, it is, let's say Kindiki. He has, but his documents, but now it's got to be to the IEBC, not just to any random somebody. Because as a CS, he did the vetting thing, but that's not the same thing, is it?
Because that's not
Ooh.
the correct
And we have
Ooh.
commissioners who have that mandate because who is a returning officer
See, it's Nani,
of
of
any-
the IBC.
of a presidential election.
Yes,
in the
see,
IBC.
Nani. See,
It's a chairman
chairman
of the
yes. See,
IBC.
bado wako. Let's not.
He retired.
Kwenda.
Yeah, we don't have,
yeah.
we don't have a chair.
No.
Chebukati is
Yeah,
no
Cheb,
longer-
I was about
he's
to
no
say
longer
that
in
Luya guy. Kwenda, he retired.
Yes.
Where was I?
So we don't have a chairman. We don't have a returning officer. So we
When
have
did,
a
when did Chebu retire?
we have a vacuum.
Who was the vice
immediately.
chair? Immediately after?
Yes.
Hey, well, I would. Okay. All right.
So there you go. So it's more than what meets the eye.
Right.
And we might be in this conundrum for maybe 2 years or 3 years.
Then the interesting question.
Yeah.
Is it envisioned, maybe unfair, brother, we've had governors without deputies. So you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
Can we have a president? During all this legal process, can we have a president without a deputy?
It is a constitutional requirement that within 14 days,
Yes.
when the office of the deputy president becomes vacant,
Yes.
the president shall nominate
Yes.
a deputy president
Uh-huh.
and send the name of the person before the National Assembly
Yes.
for the approval of the House.
Bas.
So the hands are tied. Within 14 days, he has to name somebody.
This is gonna be
If
interesting.
impeachment happens next week on Friday,
Then
this
in
process,
a fortnight,
yeah,
we need to have a.
within 2 weeks.
Look for all your illegitimate kids. Okay. It is fintech. Okay. There'll be assurance to go into fintech, AI, and constitutional law.
Surely. Surely.
Yeah. In generally, right?
Yeah.
Good to go. So, wow. Okay. The final one. And this one is very interesting. For we were talking about immigrants early on and work permits. So let me just let me set the stage then. Look,
Yeah.
we have seen Esquire. Obviously, we know our borders were open by the fourth regime. Okay, the people who sell njugu nuts are Burundians. You look like me, myself, you self-care, so you don't go to the hair salon. But the people who do the TLC, the hair salons, are Rwandese women.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Locke will tell you, attest to that one. Okay? But now we see border riders from the DRC. One, you need licenses to own such a vehicle, right? That's a question, eh?
Yeah, you
Good. And such businesses, they're not exactly like flogging jugunuts. You need payment method is M-Pesa, such like things. Bottom line, do you require work permits to work in this country?
Yes. You cannot be in this country. You can only be in this country either as a visitor or a visitor. So you can come in as a visitor and have a visitor visa. Or you can be here through your spouse.
Bas.
Or you could be here through a work permit.
Bas.
There's no other legal way
Right.
you would be allowed to be in this country.
So even student visas come under work
Oh,
permit.
and
is
then
it?
there's student pass.
Student pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly these people are circumventing the law. Then it goes in straight, and we saw this. This
Why are you
was news
saying
of
so?
yesterday.
Why are you saying so? Maybe they have the work permits. There are different categories.
To come and sell njugu nuts.
Surely.
You come in
And
as
ride
an
borders.
investor. You could come in as an investor.
I thought about
You
that
could
one as
come
an
in as an
investor.
employee. So maybe one of these delivery companies has brought some of his riders as employees, and they have helped them apply for those work
Now,
permits.
usually when we go to other jurisdictions, they say, yeah, because there's people you're bringing here to work. Yeah. Eliud Ngugi Esquire is coming to your law firm, and he's going to be here for 3 years because he's got that particular skill set
Yes.
that your lawyers don't have here.
That is not available locally.
So he will nanny them here for 3 years. Meanwhile, these other people on the uptick, then 3 years and 1 day out nature.
Ati out ne?
Out nature.
As in you go.
Yes. So let me ask you, what are these? And no, maybe selling jugunats. We are not doing it well enough, my friend. Because I am sure, as a Burundian, if I go to him, he'll get me that work permit. But why? What skill set? Because I think we were talking about, shall we use the word, my brother?
Which one?
Human trafficking.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, of course you're a lawyer. Not to you, not really.
No.
But to us, that is what we see.
No, what is happening here is most likely they have used one of the mechanisms. They have spouses. I have dealt with a similar issue where a Kenyan man found a beautiful Tanzanian woman.
Yes.
So the person came into the country as a spouse. And he got there.
I told you.
Esquire,
I told you.
You're being very safe.
Yes.
And what you're saying
different categories.
makes a lot of sense.
Very many categories,
Even a lot of these clubs, the ladies that are the barmen and the bar women, a lot of them actually from the foreign countries, but they come with the spousal visa. That's fine. These guys, and by these guys I mean these boys, because they're very young. They're at most 24 years of age.
Yes.
Here along the streets doing jugunats. Yeah. You're telling me they have spousal visa. That's not. You and
Some
I can
countries,
agree.
People marry early.
So we just have Kenyan men who have been lining, or Kenyan women who have been lining to to get married to guys who are selling jugunats here. But that again is beside the point. What we're actually concerned about is onto the safety side of it, because one, there is the riders. For example, when I order a ride and you come and you're a foreigner and you're not registered, just in case you're not registered, you're not here legally, and then something happens when you are on the ride. For example, we get into an accident. You see, it becomes very tricky for us even to trace this. And the reason why, I guess also why I am concerned about this, yeah? There are several other aspects of it. Then there is this, I think it was last week, when the Ministry of, or is it Interior, lost some title deeds.
Yeah,
and then,
thank you. That's lands.
Yes, the Ministry of Lands lost title deed papers, yeah? The
booklets
that we used to print the title deeds. Then just by...
It's like a disease.
A coincidence, now the Ministry of Interior has lost 9
booklets,
birth certificate booklets. And of course, the normal hulabaloo of them being declared redundant has happened. But then again, 9 booklets have gotten lost.
What is the question?
So the question is, could there be a game being played?
Thank you. Because let's be clear, Esquire. My original ID number, Series 11. Okay, was born on 27th of March, Tuesday rather, 2:45 p.m., 27th of March, yeah?
Which year?
1973. Are we together? 2:45 p.m., Nairobi Hospital, Dr. Mugo. Repeat. Okay, so now the thing is this. My 11th series ID, okay, I'd gone away. When I came back to renew, they said, Apana yi imeenda. Okay, I said, Kwani, it's like a phone number. Imeenda aje. Okay, what are you talking about? Anyway, went all the way to, where they keep the documents there at their Pan-Afric, that building, NHF, NSSF building, NHIF, whatever, that one. Yeah, looked through all those dusty, crusty files back then. Then, long story short, I got a new ID, which is a 33 series. No one asks how a 51-year-old man has got it. Yes, it's a Gen Z. Thank you. Okay. So the question, I think, and where I'm going to go to where Locke is going, is that And the ID, in fact, I've got two of them. One, it says Taita Taveta Bon. Then the other one, Simenya. Yeah. It was a whole cartoon circus. No one looks, even though the interior have declared them redundant. At the birth certificate, no one really looks at the numbers, aside from people like you. What's an ID used for? Sorry. What is the legal process? In the legal process, what is a birth certificate used for? And before you go on, Locke, somebody said as a doctor, because now they're commenting, a patient came into a clinic, escorted by two relatives. Doctor tried to get, what's the diagnosis here? To give her some sort of prognosis. Patient could not speak either English and or Swahili. All right? They had to communicate in their mother tongue. What this person was alluding to is that all they could communicate in was Isli. You will fill in the blanks. Okay? That would be the mother tongue. Now, these are the kind of people who are getting birth certificates. What is a birth certificate used for legally here in Kenya? Obviously, aside from registering the fact that you're born.
So you take me to the Children's Act, which allows you to, one, give you an identity. So every child in Kenya has a right to identity. Two, when it comes to birth certificates, it's the same document that you use when you're applying for, or when you're using to prove your citizenship. So you're going to use that birth certificate when you're applying for your ID.
Wow. One.
But they also say, I have seen the small note that a birth certificate is not proof of your nationality, but it's also a supporting document. And so what we are saying here is, when you lose this important document, it will be very difficult for you to prove your nationality. That's it.
So basically, can I get a passport?
It will not be possible for you to get a passport because they insist that you need to present your birth certificate.
Okay.
That's
so that document, the one that is stolen.
Yeah.
All I need to do is present that, and I'll get all those documents.
You get all these documents.
So it's critical.
But you see, what is lost here is the actual record, the booklet.
Oh, the one with the names.
No.
That certificate that has got our
So
name.
you see a checkbook, yeah? So the whole checkbook is lost.
No, that I get.
Yes.
The original record,
Yes.
which identifies you with a serial number, because they will remove a slip that has a serial number.
Yes.
And they will keep one.
Yes.
And they will hand over to you.
Yes.
To go in.
Yeah, but so that whole book has lost. It's lost.
The book.
Yes.
So if I come with my birth certificate to the registrar of persons and say, this is me and this is my birth certificate,
okay.
They are not able to verify.
Because that whole book is gone.
Is gone.
Okay. So what would they use that for then? The people who are stolen it.
So what they are going to use it for? So most...
Okay, but you see, we're asking a lawyer.
Ask me what
okay, what are they going to use it for?
So right now, those papers are going to acquire names.
Yes.
And then that slip that is supposed to remain in the office will magically appear back. And the whole process will be forgotten.
For me, I'll go to the
you actually, you know what?
Yeah?
You actually would make you're a brilliant civil servant. That's genius. You got to admit that's genius.
Yeah, you just take the name.
They'll be found again. And then all the names will be there, all the certificates.
Makosa ilikuwa yetu ilikuwa pale kwa store.
Yeah, that's good.
See, everything is there.
Then we can get all the documents that are necessary.
Yeah. Now the problem is here about lands.
Yes, no, because then what I wanted to ask. No, forget lands. So it's not that somebody can take one part of that. It will get, the certificate itself, the ones that we have, right? Ours. And go to the chief's office and say, I want an ID. Can they?
Get the document and go to the chief's office for the ID.
Yes.
We can. That's the requirement. When you're applying for your ID, they will ask you to come with your birth certificate. Then they hand you over.
So you mean, then what are you guys talking about? So then what I'm saying is that right now somebody's sitting somewhere and saying birth certificate for sale, bring 1 meter. Here is 337658791 12 12 13. Here, have it.
Let me
Your
tell
name
you.
is now Jamila Mohammed. Footside.
Let me tell you,
Eh.
the system has been automated. And therefore, for example, if you have not gone for your birth certificate and you only have a birth notification,
Yes.
what happens is that when you present your birth notification, they will key in the serial number on the birth notification, and because there was an entry already, and now obviously it's on the eCitizen platform, they'll be able to know whether it's true you are actually born on that date, and these are your actual names.
Right.
So it will be difficult. You can take the physical copies,
Yes.
but the system now has these records where you are able to
Esquire,
follow
can
through.
they get an ID with what is missing?
Can you get an ID with what is missing? Yeah, you could. Someone can actually pick what is missing
Yes.
and present it as you out there. So it could be a risk.
And you, as a Bontags, when a criminal, you are saying, sorry, before I cut you off?
No. I was saying, one, if you pair these two, and I believe these two are the most crucial documents other than your ID. If you pay your birth cert and your title deed, then those lands that are very lucrative but have not yet, that the owners have gone mysterious or have disappeared. Right now, see, I am the official owner of this land. And you.
What about serial number
serial number for what?
on the birth certificate?
Well, there's a birth, until you get to the point where you now need to counter check at the start. They're all legal documents until you get to you now having to confirm, or something arises where we need now to verify.
I would disagree with him on the lands issue because land ownership is a process, and therefore you cannot just show up with a new title and claim it has your name, and you make a claim that you are the real owner of this piece of land, even if you were to mess up with the records in there. There's a sequence that has to be followed. There's a document called a green card, which is basically a small card that has a sequence of how this land was transferred from your great-great-grandfather, if it's agricultural land, or from the government to the next person who was gifted by the government to now the municipal to whoever. There's a whole record. So having the final document does not allow you to now go fight and claim that piece of land. Present it there. Unless the other person the real owner is not aware about that and they are not there. They have moved to a different place.
We love it when you're here. And you see the way he's broken it down. Now, you've just come up from air, my brother. Let's go back down to the depths of this miasma. Yesterday, now let's get back now. Let's get to a question. Hold up. Yesterday, there was a matter. It was, we saw it on the news, where a minor, and this one was a youth, I think the child was about between 4 and 6. And the father had been arrested because on claims of abuse. Okay. This guy, I think, had been in the slammer he had been in the coolers for 6 months. Then this matter came to court, magistrate court somewhere. And then it was established that the minor was coerced into lying that the father had abused her because the mother said that the father was neglecting them. Okay. Meanwhile, he's gone through all of this.
Like a punishment.